Hello, y'all. Welcome back one more time again to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show with yours truly, Redneck here. And I'm excited. I think we have a phone call. Let's go to the phone. Say, hello, who that?
Hey, it's Rod Black calling.
Rod Black. Oh, man, I am so excited to have Mr. Rod Black on the phone with us. Rod Black, the immortal, the incomparable. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm, you know me, man. I'm fine as frog hair, split three ways. I ain't never had a bad day.
Nice.
Everybody knows you from Jet Black Stare, and everybody is familiar with, the reinvention of Rod Black of late, and you've been putting out some great stuff now. And we love your music. We play it all the time on here on the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show, and I know you're a favorite with other stations here in the area. So what we want to know, though, is what is happening now. What's new? There's a rumor that we got some music coming out. Maybe you're headed for the States. Fill us in.
Well, basically, as you know, I think we probably talked about this earlier. Jet Black Stare started off as a Southern country rock project, and so I'm just very happy to get the second chance to be coming back and doing it all over again. We released about a year and a half ago now. Released a single called "Keep It On" in Canada, and I was very fortunate to get it as a top 20 on billboards up in Canada. So basically, as Eddie, I think we talked about this earlier. I'm used to touring the States with my old band, Jet Black Stare. Back in the day, we toured all over the place, and I love touring the States. So we'll be coming back there, aiming for the spring, and we're releasing a third single in Canada called "Good Old Life," and in the States, we'll be releasing "Good Old Life" or "Keep It On" in the United States. We're just not too sure just exactly which one's going first, but they're both going out there around April.
Well, that's not fair. Everybody, all our North American brothers in Canada are getting to enjoy all this music. And, I know they can find you, on iTunes or Facebook? If people want to get a head start, can they get your music
yet?
Just
go to rodblackmusic.com. Everything is there on Rod Black Music, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, on iTunes under Rod Black.
All right, perfect. So now I'm fortunate enough that you and I, we've chatted a little bit here and there. We've been keeping in touch. I know some of the background on some of these tunes, but let's do this. Let's tell people. Let's start off with "Keep It On," since you mentioned that first. Let's talk about that tune, how it came to be, and why you decided to make that the first single.
Well, basically what happened was I can't take all the credit on the song. I co-wrote that song. Everything I put out, I end up co-writing with either Jeff Johnson or Dan Swiminer. Dan was the drummer with Jet Black Stare, and Jeff Johnson was the producer and my co-writer for the album, for the In This Life album when we were with Island Def Jam. So we still kind of obviously stayed and maintained the brotherhood. So we work very well together. So "Keep It On" basically was just a song that kind of came out of the blue. I just started it off in Texas and came and showed Jeff kind of the foundation of the song. And the song was pretty much written probably within a half an hour. We went into the studio and recorded it and had some fun with it. And we didn't really know what was going to happen. We released it to radio and it took a little bit of time, but then slowly it took off like a rocket and caught us all off guard. And so then I went back on the road and to support the song and did some cool shows at some festivals and stuff like that, and now we're back at her putting another song on the radio.
I know that you recently opened for some big names at a festival there in Canada. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we were very fortunate to play for Rock and River Fest, and we had Chris Young was there, Lady Antebellum, opened for Dierks Bentley, and countless other bands and stuff. Bigger Than Rich was up there, so it was an amazing experience. And I was actually very fortunate to be asked to come back this summer. And I think we've got Sam Hunt coming in there, and Randy Houser as well. So it's going to be a great time.
All right, and when is that this summer? Do you know offhand, or can we find that on your website?
Yeah, July 28th to I think the 3rd or something. Or no, it's the 1st or something like that. That's a 3 or 4 day festival.
And again, we touched on your days with Jet Black Stare, but what we want to really focus on here is what you're doing now and what's coming out. You're co-writing, is that correct? And are you going to release a full EP or what? A CD? What's going on?
Yeah, we're just basically putting songs together, probably about 20 songs to choose, and out of the 20, or actually probably be 30 by the time we're done. And then I'm going to pick 7 songs and put out an EP for the summer, and just basically, hope people like what they're hearing.
When are you coming to the States for sure? Can you say?
We're aiming for March. I'm just waiting on my paperwork to go through it, all that kind of stuff. So in the meantime, I'm up at studios and writing and doing some performances around Canada, and until the time comes.
We talked about the song, so what I want you to do is I want to play that for our listeners. So go ahead, let's intro. Would you give us the intro, and I can play that for listeners, and then we'll come back and chat some more. Can you do that for me?
I can do that. Hey, it's Rod Black, and you're listening to Gumbo YaYa Radio, and this song is called "Keep It On." Hope you enjoy it.
Hey, keep on keeping on. Shining in the dark, loneliness never hit so hard. Small towns to city lights, broken roads to mountain highs. Running fast, running free, and every mile down, would you walk or stand your ground? I got a hill that's hard to climb, but everything's gonna be alright. Running fast, running free, and every mile
Man, that song makes me want to just keep on keeping on. That's some good stuff there. The thing that I like is you have that the clarity in your voice, but it still has that power behind it.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, we work, like I said, we work with a really good team, and Jeff Johnson is an amazing producer and obviously a writer. And we work for a lot of stuff together, so a lot more stuff coming.
You're back and forth between the States and Canada. Are you writing and recording, in Canada and bringing it to the States? Are you recording it what's going on? Because every time I talk to you, if you're not, back home, you're either in Texas or Nashville or,
Well, it all depends on where I'm at. I mean, I'm always writing. So I've written lots in Nashville, written in Texas, and sitting in a hotel room or at a buddy's house with have the cold beer and writing a song. So it all depends. Inspiration hits, and you kind of go with it. But I've been writing quite a bit in Canada, and what we do is I've actually teamed up with a songwriter out of Nashville, Eric Vernell, and Eric's worked on some really cool stuff over the years, and we've hit it off really well. And so we go back and forth with songs, and when I get to Nashville, I'll be going to the studio with him and laying down some vocals on some tracks that we've already written in the last 6 months.
Is there something big going on here that we need to know about? Are you putting together this big tour you're going to surprise us with?
I'm trying not to say too much. No, my last trip in Nashville was really good. I got to meet some really cool people, and I ended up signing a management deal with an amazing individual, Denny Saunders, and so and he's tied in with his camp and stuff like that, and we all kind of got along really well. Saw eye to eye, and we're all on the same page here with this venture, and we're hoping for the best.
Oh, okay. Well, we really are excited about it. Like I said, keep it on. I love that song. I love so much of what you do. I think that The River is one of my favorite songs from your Jet Black Stare days. You keep promising me you're going to tweak that song,
Yeah, yeah, that is a song that I haven't forgotten about. I definitely have a bunch of stuff from the JBS days to go back into the catalog and bring them out at the right time, but really concentrating on just new stuff right now. I can't help it. I'm a fan of what you do. And so just people know, though, those of y'all just stumbling across this is the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. We're speaking to Mr. Rod Black out of Canada. Rod is the former frontman for the mega group Jet Black Stare. And Rod has gone back to his Canadian country roots, and he's brought kind of that edgy rock vibe back to some of that classic country feel. And he's putting out some great stuff. And back in the studio, you're writing, you're working on some new material, and we're expecting to hear from that. Now, again, I talked about the unfair advantage I have, having spoke to you, on more than one occasion. I want to talk about Good Old Life. Is that something that, I know what that song means to you, and is that something that we can talk about here without getting too emotional? Oh, yeah, of course. It's off to getting mastered right now. It should be ready for radio very soon. The song I wrote with my buddy Dan Swimner. Again, he's the drummer with Jet Black Stare. We've got a bunch of other songs coming out that him and I wrote too together, and he's an amazing producer. And I showed him this song. It was about my dad, and he saw the vision, and we sat down and we cut the track together, and I'm just really thankful because he got the vision of the song. It's basically a tribute to my dad.
Yeah, you know what? As soon as you hear it, that opening riff there, it just kind of it's a hook. You hear this open, and you go, wait, what's this? And then once you hear that, then you just start listening, and the relationship it describes probably 99% of what young boys did. Standing beside their dad, even whether it's helping them with a work on a car, start the mower, clean. That bond.
Exactly, yeah.
So it evokes a lot of memory and emotion that people can relate to, and I think that's the emotion that you felt putting into this song really translates well to the listener. So if you don't mind, I'd like
for sure, and I know that over the years I've got a lot of friends, close friends that have lost family members and stuff, and it is hard. And and when that happened with my dad, because we were very close, that really hit home, so to speak. And it's a song for everybody, really. You know what I mean? It is written about, obviously about my dad, but it is something that I think it's a relatable subject. And I'm hoping people really enjoy the song and and look at it as a positive.
I think they will. It's going to be part of this upcoming album, right? Are you including this on your new?
Oh yeah. It's going to be going out. We're kind of 50-50 right now. Just to be upfront with you, if it's going to be Keep It On that we release in the U.S. or we end up releasing Good Old Life. So we're kind of torn a little bit on which direction to go.
I couldn't decide between the two. So you got a tough choice on your hands.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They're both.
Yeah.
They're both kind of a bit of a message. Anything that I'm a part of with writing, there's always a message. As we've talked over periods of time about the songwriting and stuff like that. And it's got to come from the heart, or it doesn't mean anything. and I stand by that. You
Yeah,
know?
they're
And
powerful.
So everything that we put out, it's going to be a hard one. Which way we go?
We played "Keep It On," so let us go ahead and play "Good Old Life," and then let maybe the listeners will chime in and they can decide.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
All right. So
again, it's Rod Black. I'm enjoying this conversation with Gumbo YaYa, Redneck, and the song's called "Good Old Life." Enjoy.
I remember back in '85, it was Daddy night and a broken down ride. I said that engine will never turn. He stood there and smiled at me. He said, son, you better roll up them sleeves. It's gonna get tough, but we ain't giving up till we get a running right. I don't care if it takes us all night. 'Cause hey, yeah, it's a good old life if you work real hard and you do some right. Ain't nothing else a man will ever need. Oh, and it ain't about if you lose or win. Just give it all you got when that race begins. And thank God for every day you got. 'Cause it's a good old life. Must have played every rundown dive, but the day that I quit will be the day that I die. Cut from the same cloth as the man I idolized. Was on the road when I found out I was broke right up, torn right down. But Dad was tough, said I won't give up. But if it's my time, it's been a hell of a ride. 'Cause hey, yeah, it's a good old life if you work real hard and you do some right. Ain't nothing else a man will ever need. Oh, and it ain't about if you lose or win. Just give it all you got when that race begins. And thank God for every day you got. 'Cause it's a good old life. It's been about a year since the angels took him home. Well, it seems like yesterday he was telling me, son, I'm a simple man, but one thing I know, it's a good old life. Just work real hard and do some right. That's all a man will ever need. Oh, ain't about if you lose or win. Just give it all you got when that race begins. But thank God for every day you got. It's a good old life. Oh, it's a good old life.
Man, talk about a good old life. I'm living a good old life. I'm on the phone with Mr. Rod Black, the amazing artist out of Canada who's been kind enough to grace us with his presence here on the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. Rod, I thank you so much. I want everybody to know that if they go to rodblackmusic.com, they can find your music. They can, hopefully by March, you'll be in the States doing some shows, and they can follow you. They can definitely find your information from the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show Facebook page and website. I promise that we will post everything that you do and keep listeners here in the States up to date to that, if you don't mind us doing
I
that.
appreciate that, man. Yeah, no, I'll be in the U.S. soon enough, and I'm looking forward to it. And seen a lot of old friends that I haven't seen in a while.
Well, here's another thing. People are kind of curious. How did you end up in Nashville, rubbing elbows with the likes of the Jennings families and the Rusty Goldens and all those big wigs? How does a Canadian boy go country like that, Nashville style?
Well, I always got to say thanks where it's due. You know.
All right, go ahead.
You introduced me to a very soulful family in the Jennings, and I went down and hung out with Carrie and down in Waco, Texas, and got along really well. We're still friends. We chat back and forth all the time, and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the music, it wasn't by fluke. My dad was in the rodeo. He was an outrider. And so country music has been in our family ever since I was a kid. And so you fast forward that, me doing the rock scene and touring and stuff like that, everybody always came up to me and said, I can hear the country in the music, just the guitars were loud kind of thing. And then I got the deal with Jet Black Stare, and around that time, I think just before the deal, I was wearing a white cowboy hat around Vancouver with an acoustic guitar. So it was not really far off where I am at going right now. And it just, when we got the album recorded and all that kind of stuff, it was just a lot heavier than we anticipated. But there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it was a Southern country rock project to start off with, and then it kind of took its own venture. And now, I took some time off because of the family, stuff, and now I'm back out again and kind of getting to kind of continue. I guess that's probably the best way from where it started.
You're one of those artists that you seem to kind of put yourself into your projects, I mean, going down to Texas, going out to Nashville, working with, all these legends in the industry, some of the artists that I've talked to, or you kind of see and follow, they seem to kind of just think that, okay, listen, this is the way I do it. This is how I'm going to do it. And they don't really, I guess, pay attention to their craft. And I think it shows, because so many artists who have been successful for a period of time seem to become stagnant. It's almost as if they don't, strive or try to achieve anything other than that commercial success. And I think that's one of the things that I like about you, is I see that you're getting into the music, you're getting into the culture behind what you're doing, and although it's new and exciting, it's still relevant to today. So I really am I'm hoping this is like a 20-song CD. I can't wait to hear what you're putting out.
Well, it's going to be hard to pick the 7, that's for sure. I was on the phone with management, and we were laughing about it, and hopefully, people are digging what I'm doing and coming out to the shows, and that's a whole new ball game there. Because something comes over me when I hit that stage. Can't explain it.
Now, is it going to be you, and do you have a band that's going to be with you, or who are you writing with?
I've got a different band. I've got a different band in the States, and I've got a different band in Canada. So when I come back for Riverfest after touring the States, depending on, I might bring the band with me. Or I might. I've got another band that backs me up here in Canada. A very talented band called Chris Buck Band, and we do stuff all over Canada together. And so they're going to be at Riverfest this year again. They were there last year, and they're going to back me on a bunch of songs.
It's like Christmas, like you have all these wonderful artists like yourself that we hear, these projects that are coming out, and you want it right away. You don't want to have to wait, but still you want the best possible thing. So listen, Rod, you got to promise me, I'm going to put your feet to the fire. I'm going to hold you to it, that you send me an autographed copy right here so I can hang it on the Gumbo YaYa wall.
I can do that. Of course.
We definitely want to do that. Let us know what we can do to help you. You're the reason that we've had any sort of success, any sort of listenership, is because it's artists like yourself, these phenomenal, incredible, independent artists that so many of you don't have huge commercial backing behind you. You're putting out better stuff that's on the radio today, but it's not getting played because you don't have the political or the financial politics that goes behind getting on there. So you let us know what we can do to support you and your colleagues, and that's what we're going to do.
And I really appreciate that. You guys have been amazing. Your radio station has supported us and our venture for a long time, and I'm very thankful for that. And and of course, there's going to be a lot of artists that are listening to this interview right now, and I can give you, one piece of advice. When it boils down to, if you're an independent artist and you just want to get your music out there and stuff, sometimes it doesn't really help you to put the pressure on trying to get to the big radio. So, it takes time, right? And so, station like yourself, you're very supportive, and you get to a wide audience already, and you're going to keep on growing. And I can see that since we've met. So, for anybody that's independent and stuff like that, it's like, if you can get to the big radio, then that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. But definitely send your stuff to the Gumbo YaYa Show. I highly, highly recommend that one.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, and I would love to take the credit for sending you to Nashville and introducing you to those folks and everything. And that's just par for the course because of your talent, Rod. And that's just a bottom line fact. And those guys over at the other stations, and you know who I'm talking about, WFDU. They play your music. So it's not just because I would love to take credit, but I can't take credit for talent, and it's your talent alone that's got you there, and there are several of you that I'm very fortunate that hopefully I can say, hey, he's a friend of mine, and that are doing what you do. Your music is quality, just amazing stuff, and the fans can hear it. And that's why you're going to be touring the States. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time.
You know what? It always goes back. It goes right back. To me, we all work on this together. You know what I mean? It's like a team. And, you do what you do. I do what I do. You're a lover of music. I'm a lover of music. I'm thankful that you share, my songs with people. And, and I get introduced, like I said, Trey Michaels and all that kind of stuff. We've become very good friends, hanging out with him in Nashville and stuff like that. And we kind of joke about how we came together. And, it was all through you. So, I mean, it's pretty cool, and just, again, I'm so thankful. And again, any independent artist, if you're listening, you can't go wrong. Get your music out there, and this is the station that you want to start off with, that's for sure. Well,
whatever we can do to help artists like yourself, we're gonna do it, because honestly, Rod, your success is our reward. It only makes us, it only brings us more fans, more listeners, and more great music. And as a matter of fact,
I really appreciate that, brother.
Let's talk about great music.
My time is yours, you know that.
All right, well then I'm gonna monopolize it right now. We talked about Good Old Life. We talked about Keeping On. Yes. Okay, tell us about Long Gone, and we'll give that a play as well.
Yeah, sure. Long Gone is just about the one that got away, and that's pretty much the best way to put it. And that's, I think it's going to be a relatable song when it comes out there to you guys, because a lot of people go through that. Somebody very special in my life, and life happens, I guess.
All right, so this is Long Gone, ladies and gentlemen, by Mr. Rod Black. Long Gone, the song about the one that got away, the young lady that broke the jet black heart. How's that? All right.
Very good.
There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, give this a listen, and we'll be right back with Mr. Rod Black.
Count the days and the nights as they roll on, but the heart of the truth is I can't move on, and the memory burns like a brush fire, and I'm lost in the flame, like the smell of her skin gets me high just to fall in again. Now she's long gone, like a tail light fading in a heartbreak song. She's long gone, and I'm asking myself, where did we go wrong? And I should have begged her to stay, and I needed someone to blame. And why am I walking away alone? She's long gone. Looking back on the past away too long, emptiness in my chest, where did we go wrong? And the memory burns like a brush fire, still I'm lost in the flame, and it hurts like hell, only to know I'll never hold her again. Now she's long gone, like a tail light fading in a heartbreak song. She's long gone.
Wow, man, that is powerful. Long gone. Whew. I hope I don't ever have to experience something like that. Good stuff, Rod.
Yeah, well, it's trial and error, right? Isn't that what life's all about?
Yeah, it is. It is. This is the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Rod Black, and we're just basically hanging out in old-fashioned style. We're just it's a picnic on the radio.
Yeah, we're just chilling out.
So, but you talked about trial and error and that kind of thing, and in the past we have the last time you were on the program we discussed the Jet Black Stare and the Big Money Tour and all those decisions and the song Ready to Roll was a Super Bowl anthem. It was a WWE anthem. They used that for anything and everything that demanded like this powerful, amazing thing. You toured with what, 3 Doors Down, but like you said, it was a different Rod Black then. It was what are you doing?
It's a really hard one. I look back sometimes now and it's kind of.
What are you doing different? What's going to stop you, Rod, from being the rock star back then to the rock star now? And what's the different path?
I wasn't ready. I mean, that's really what happened. I mean, when we got the record deal, everything happened so fast. We got flown to New York City and singing for L.A. Reid, and all of a sudden, boom, you're signing a record deal, and now you're back in Vancouver, you're working on an album and stuff. But, around the same time, I didn't let this know publicly at the time. The drummer actually was aware of it. But, my dad was, getting sick. And so here I've got all these amazing things happening, and you're hanging out with, some, whatever you want to call them, rock stars, whatever you want to call them. I just call them friends. But, you know what I mean? You're hanging out with these people, and, you get back to the hotel room, and you're kind of just looking in the mirror going, you're not really happy. You're trying to put on a smile. You're trying to, because I never had a record deal before, especially at that level. And, but there's still a part of you that's kind of, you're a bit saddened by what's happening. And so you're trying to balance that out. And it was a bit of a challenge. So when I lost the record deal, I looked at it as a blessing. I mean, that's probably a lot of bands and independent artists listening to this right now are going to be crazy, but it was a blessing to lose the record deal. And because I figure, if the band would have become very successful and we were to a point where we were touring so much that I couldn't take time off, to have my dad pass and me not be there with him, that would have wrecked me for life. And so because of the time off, from the record deal, I just decided to, I was working with a couple bands in Texas and kind of that kind of thing, to try to keep my mind occupied. But I was back and forth to Canada as he was getting better and worse. And, anybody that, goes through a loss or has, family members sick, they know what I'm talking about. And so, you're juggling that kind of thing and trying to be there for your family. And then finally, I just took time off and to be there before his last days. And, and that's life, I guess, that's what happens. But now I'm just thankful that I get a second chance, and hopefully people are liking what I'm putting out.
Well, I know that they are, and it's a whole blessing in disguise type thing, I can't imagine that some of that isn't going to be reflected in some of these songs that you're putting out, So you got Good Old Life, you got Long Gone, you got Keeping On. What else? Come on, Rod. What else?
Well, actually, we got basically a song called Ain't Going Anywhere, and I wrote that in Nashville with some good friends of mine. And it's basically kind of to pay a tribute to my mom and my dad. So this song kind of formed itself out of Nashville, and it's become one of our more popular songs. It's our closer of our show. And a friend of mine, FM, he's a hip-hop artist who's very, very talented, and we've known each other for many years. I gave him the track, and he did a remix of it. From what we're hearing anyway, is that they want to put it on the NBC Fight Night, I do believe, in March. So we don't know the exact date because, you got to do all the paperwork and stuff like that. But that's another one that's going to be coming out in the United States, and it's called Outlaw. It's the remix by FM, song called Ain't Going Anywhere.
Since I don't have a copy of that, we'll just have to wait till March.
Well, no, I can actually, I have a copy of that to send you.
All right. So well, this is what you do. You send that. You send that over to us, and I promise that we'll make that available to listen to on the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show website. So, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to hear an exclusive preview of that song, visit the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show webpage at gumboyayaradioshow.webs.com. Look, I know you got a lot of things coming up, so let's do this before we let you go. Let's tell people one more time where you're going to be, how they can find you, and if they want your music, what they need to do to get it.
Well, okay, if you want to, the music is on iTunes. We've got 2 songs, Long Gone and Keep It On. Good Old Life, and the other songs that are coming will be on iTunes very soon. You can go to rodblackmusic.com is our website. Rod Black Music for Twitter, Instagram, for Facebook. It's all under Rod Black.
Thank you so much again. And listen, you know what we always say here at the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. Hug your friends, kiss your family, and thank the Lord. Y'all keep listening now. You hear? Thank you, Rod.
Yeah, you got it, brother. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it.
All right.